God, I feel like I'm being a Debbie Downer, but I may as well just leap into it. Whilst being on hiatus with the band, my mother was diagnosed with a really aggressive form of dementia, and which took her out the game in 18 months. And to watch my mother basically slip away was excruciating, and knocked some sense into me. My feelings of any sort of bad feeling towards the band literally just evaporated, and I yearned actually to sort of be with them because I really missed them. There was a series of horrible events. You know, my best friend lost her young husband overnight, and friends of ours lost their 6-year-old son to cancer, and I was asked to sing at his memorial. And his favourite song was Life on Mars by David Bowie. And I was asked to sing that song at the memorial. And I went to the memorial, and Butch was there because they're friends of ours. And I don't know if any of you have ever been witness to your friends losing a child, but there is nothing in this life worse than watching people lose a child. It is, bar none, just the most horrific experience. And it was a very tense time and a very sad event. And in the middle of all this, I get to sing this beautiful song by an incredible artist. And it brought great pleasure to his parents, to Pablo's parents. And it brought me and Butch together at a very emotional time. And we saw each other, and Butch was like, "Oh, it's so good to hear you sing," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, I miss singing, and why are we not making music, you know?" And Butch was like, "I don't know, and let's make a record, let's see each other, let's hang out." And it sort of started there.
It started right there, yeah. We just felt like life is short, and we have music to make. So we called Duke and Steve, and about 3 weeks later, we went into the Pass in North Hollywood, and we recorded Battle in Me was the first thing that came out. One of the songs that we did for Pablo was Witness to Your Love, which is really a pretty obscure track of ours, but it's one of the most beautiful songs Shirley sung. And that was inspired by when you went to the funeral in Scotland.
Yeah,
right?
Morag's husband dying.
Yeah, the poem that they read. Yeah, so dark circumstances, but it kind of gave us a spark, you know, made us want to write songs again.
And Duke came in for the first day, and he walked in, and we were all tense because we didn't know what was going to happen. And he walked in, he was the last to arrive, and we all looked at each other, and we all started pissing ourselves laughing. I mean, literally sort of hysterical, like sort of 12-year-olds drunk on cider. And we started laughing, and ever since then, things have just gelled again. Like, we've gotten rid of all the nonsense and sort of rebuilt our working relationship. And we have a harmonious working relationship for the most part. You know, we still squabble, but it's been sort of really good since then.
It felt really good. We started writing songs, and no one even knew we were doing it except for our engineer, Billy, and a handful of people around us. You know, we didn't really make it, at least initially, any sort of announcement or anything.
And our masters had reverted to us.
And our masters had come back, and our publishing had reverted back. So some great positive things were happening on that front. And one of the guys we used to work with at Almo, who had been our label manager there, Paul Kremen, who had then gone to Interscope and worked with us, one of the guys who we worked with there, had left Interscope, and he said, "Why don't you start your own label? It's pretty easy to do these days, and I can help facilitate that," because he had gone into doing a marketing and whole freestyle thing where he would help bands deal with exactly what we were looking for. And we've known Paul for a long time, and he empowered us to do that. Just, you know, you guys can do all of it. I'll help you figure that out. And we did. It was, we made Not Your Kind of People in Red Razor sounds, and just in this little bubble, and it was really fun. And the songs came really quick. Really, for the most part, it was from start to end, it was one of the quicker albums that we made. The day we recorded Not Your Kind of People, I had just a title that came into my head, and I think I called Shirley on the phone, stuck in a freeway somewhere. That happens to a lot to me. I come up with song ideas stuck in the freeway, and So I have this title for a song, Not Your Kind of People. She goes, it's great. Let's see if we can work on that. And we came in and sat in a little semicircle with a couple acoustic guitars and just wrote the song in about 45 minutes. It just it happened really quick. And I think once we had that, we wrote there were a lot of bad names, bad album titles on the board, but we wrote that one up there in all seriousness, and I think that one stuck right away. We kind of felt like that set a tone for where we had been and where we were going.
In a way, it was actually a diffident sort of stance to take, right? Rather than being rejected by the mainstream, we were rejecting the mainstream, and it felt a sort of taking back of our power in a funny, weird way. It's like, nah, we're rejecting you. You're not rejecting us.
You're fired.
I guess the only thing that really struck us with Not Your Kind of People was we'd been gone for a long time, and we had no idea if anybody would give a shit. And we were at that point where we were like, it doesn't really matter. We've had a really great experience making this record together. It would be nice if people cared, but it's not going to change our lives in any way because we have been not making music now for 7 years. And we set up a few dates and they sold out immediately, and there was an incredible anticipation for the record, but that really caught us off guard. We did not expect that kind of love, really, that came back at us. And we went on tour for a year, basically, all over the world. And it felt like a great sort of redemptive moment because, you know, when you go through a huge dump in your career, which most artists will endure at some point, the dark hole that you go in is really extraordinary. I mean, you just have to question absolutely everything about your choices and your taste and your talent and this, that, and the next thing. And then there comes a seed of diffidence where you're like, nah, you know what? We're good at what we do. We've always been good at what we do. We may not be the best in the world, but we don't deserve to just give up these gifts that we were given. We don't really care if you don't like it. That's okay. It's cool. Go find what you love. That's great. But we like it and we're going to pursue it. And it's a relief to get to that point in your career, you know. And we didn't sort of compromise. I think that's what I'm so grateful for, is that we didn't, in the end, get corrupted by record company pressure and record company sort of corporate obsession with making money. We actually fought that, you know, and it was difficult, but we've come out the other side and we feel unsullied, you know. It's like, oh, yeah, it wasn't great. And yeah, we got rejected by the mainstream, but I can sleep at night and I feel pure, you know, and that feels so good, you know, to know that you're not easily corrupted is really an incredible realization, actually, of like, I can stand in the storm and I can hold my ground, motherfuckers.